Okay, so this video is done right after the other videos I did, so we're a little bit out of sequence, but I have some cheese made and I just want to show you how to make your cheese blocks. So your blocks that you can mold into different shapes and you leave them for a lot longer in the fridge, and you can actually use them as blocks of cheese. So it's spreadable, like it's not like sliceable, like, well, it is sliceable, but it's not hard like cheddar. It's like soft like Gouda, that type of thing, or brie, that sort of thing. Okay, so the first thing you're gonna need is cheesecloth. So you can buy that at any grocery store. You have to ask for it the first time because they put it in really stupid places. So just ask at the grocery store where the cheesecloth is. It's like $1.99. You get like yards and yards and yards of it. Like you can make your own mummy. They give you so much of it. So yeah, so you'll need cheesecloth, and you need like a breathable container. I use one that is for microwaving vegetables. So it's got like a tray with like holes in it. But you could use a colander that has the little holes in it, or just anything where it can breathe. And I put the cheesecloth down. The second thing you need is a mold. I make my own. I just use cardboard, and then I make it into whatever shape that I want. This one I'm just going to do a circle with. And so what you want to do is you want to flavor your cheese. So the cheese that we made, which you'll have now because we've already done that part. So the cheese that you've made that's sort of made into a cream cheese, that's what we use. So you can add all sorts of flavoring. You can use garlic powder. It's better to use powder, garlic powder, not pieces of garlic, because they'll ferment, so you want powder. However, you can use onion flakes. Those work really well. I'm just going to use onion powder, but what I really like to do is I make my own Mrs. Dash, but you could use Mrs. Dash actually. But I make my own and I add that in. Another really great flavor is liquid smoke, and it really adds a nice richness to it. So I'm going to add all these flavors in, and then I'll come back and I'll show you how we make the mold. Okay, all right. Well, maybe I'll do them in front of you. Okay, so let's see. So what I do is I add just like a little bit. You don't need a whole lot. So just like, a little bit on the end of your spoon, and sprinkle that in. And the same with the onion powder. I do like onion flakes. I've used those before, and they work really well, but onion powder works too. A little bit of that in. The liquid smoke, use it or don't use it. It depends on if you like it or not. Gary really likes the smokiness, so just like 2 drops, like it's really powerful. So you just need a few drops of that. And then my Mrs. Dash, which I add in, just to add some color and some flavoring, and it works really nice. And then you mix that all up and make sure it's all sort of combined. A little bit through the process of it hardening, I do add a little bit more on the outside. Like as I turn it, I'll shake a little bit of the Mrs. Dash on the outside, or maybe even a little bit of salt, but I know you guys are sort of staying away from salt. Then I have a little taste. Oh my God, it's just so good. So you take big dollops and put it in your mold. I guess you can't really see that, right? So you just put it in until it fills the mold. Just fill it all up, squish it down a little. That's what it looks like. It looks like this. Can you see that? So you just fill it up like that. That's all I do. And put the lid on it and put it in the fridge. Put it right at the back of your fridge. Give it about 3 days to just sit like this. And then what I do is I keep the mold on, but I flip the whole thing. But I'll show you when we get to that stage. So that's all we've got. I use the dog's milk bone thing for the cardboard. Well, what are you gonna do? Anyway, so yeah, I just put the lid on this. Where's my lid? Right here. And I use the top shelf right at the very back of my fridge. And you just leave it. Just leave it there. All right, next. Okay, so I did a little excerpt earlier about making the hard cheese. So we had put it in the fridge and made a mold and all that stuff. So here it is here. So it's a couple of days later. So normally what I do, so this is what it starts to look like. It starts to get a little bit of a crust. This is one of the batches that I made that has a little bit of turmeric in it, so it's a little bit of an orangey color. And as you can see, we still have our mold on there. So what I do is, it's not quite ready to have the mold taken off yet. So I leave that on, but what I do is I flip it over. So it's literally this easy. I just pick it up like that and turn it over. That's it. And then I leave it for a few more days, and in a couple more days that mold will come off and it will hold that shape perfectly. And at that time I'll add some spices and stuff on the outside of it to give it a kind of a nice salty crust. And yeah, so I just put this back in the fridge, and again, just forget about it and just wait. That's all you do. Like regular cheese, you just wait and it gets better and better with age, just like other cheese. Anyway, just a little addition to my little cheese tutorial, okay?